we're on. Okay, guys, we're on.
God bless you.
My lecture has started. Okay, so up to this point, I've been really good to you. I've been giving you very easy things to factor. Okay, basically, you've been factoring things in the form of this: x squared plus bx plus c. In other words, there is an actual number, or there's a number in front of that x squared, and it's a 1, right? If you wrote the full expression, it would be like this: ax squared plus bx plus c. So I have been giving you problems where the a is equal to 1. So it would look like that: x squared plus something x plus something, right? So those are really easy because, like, if I had an example, x squared plus 5x plus 6, I know that x and x, I know that I'm looking for factors of 6. In other words, two numbers that multiply to equal 6, but when you add them together, they equal 5. So that's really easy. The trouble is, when you start putting a number in here other than 1, it totally changes the ballgame. You no longer have that ability to say, okay, factors of 6, that when you add them together equals 5. It doesn't work. So you're going to see. Let's try one. So let's say we're trying. We don't need this, so let's get rid of it. Let's say we try this one. 2x. Whoops. Okay. So 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Okay. Is this a quadratic trinomial? Yes. It is a trinomial, boom, 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 and it's quadratic because it says x squared. So as soon as I have a quadratic trinomial, the first thing I try is this. I put my parentheses, and I am going to have to put something here and here, and whatever I put here and here has to equal, when it multiplies together, 2x squared, right? So fortunately, there's not too many options, right? I mean, pretty much just 2x and x. I could do it the other way. I could say x and 2x. Doesn't matter. But do you see what I mean? Factors of 2. There's only two factors, 1 and 2. 1 times 2. Right? So I've got 2 times 1 here. All right. What are factors of 3?
1 and 3.
1 and 3. That's it. So this is actually a fairly easy one. There's not too many options, right? But what are my signs going to be, first of all? This says, what does this say? They're both negative?
Yes.
Yeah, that says they have to be the same, right? Positive times positive is positive, or negative times negative is positive. So they got to be the same. But since there's a negative there, they both got to be negative, like Sina said. That's exactly right on.
But negative 1 and negative 2.
So, okay, so let's try. We'll say 1 and 3. And the other possibility, we'll just do this, 2x minus 3, times x minus 1, x2. Right? Those are our two possibilities. There's no other option. Do you see what I mean? Now let's see. We know that negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. We know that these are right because that equals 2x squared. What we don't know is the outside plus the inside. Remember? With FOIL, the O and the I. Right? Remember what outside is. Outside is this times this. Inside is this times this. So outside plus inside is what you're looking for. All right? And pretty much you have to just put them in and guess and check. Just guess and check. 2x times 3 is 6x. Minus 6x. Minus 1x is minus 7x. That's the one. See what I did? So negative 6x, negative 1x would be negative 7x, right? So if I had tried this one first, I would have gotten negative 2x plus negative 3x would be negative 5x. So that would not be it. So it's not this one. So it's the first one. So we did it. It wasn't so hard.
Oh, now I get it.
Do you see?
I know.
Do you see?
Not really.
Okay, so So let's review it again.
I'm kind of confused. Yeah, let's.
Okay, well, exactly. They're a little more complicated. But remember, you guys know how to FOIL. This times this, that's first. Outside, this times this. Inside, this times this. And last, this times this, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's because of this 2 in front of the x squared that things start to get more complicated. We can't say factors of this that add up to this. We need factors of this, but we don't know what they're going to add up to because that 2 is going to throw things off when you start multiplying it out. Okay?
Right.
So, anyways, in your beginning, you want to make it equal to, it has to equal 2x squared. So your first of this times the first of this has to equal 2x squared. There's only one option, 2x and x, right? Or x and 2x. But whatever. And then the last, there's only 2 options. -1 times -3 or -3 times -1. Those are only 2 options here. And so we tried them both and we FOILed them out. The most important part, though, is if you know you did the first one right and the last one right, then really what you need to know is your outside plus your inside. Do you know what I mean? Is that what's confusing you? Yeah. You know how with FOIL, you have your first times first. And then you have your outsides. So it's this times this, right? And then you have your insides. This times this. Those are what give you this. Your outside plus your inside give you this.
Oh, I get it.
Okay? So 2x times -3 is -6x.
Yeah.
-1 times x is -1x. So -6x plus -1x is -7x.
It's so clear to me now.
Oh.
It's so clear to you now. Okay, well, we're going to make it harder. Okay, can I erase?
Of course, because we can never just be
So we figured out that that's not the
We have
answer,
to
so
make
we
it
got
harder.
our answer. We'll do another one. Okay. So this one, there's not a lot of options either, but 3x squared plus 14x minus 5. 3x squared plus 14x minus 5. Now, with this one, there actually are a few more options because of this negative here. When you have a negative here, you actually increase your number of options. Because think about it, it's now not going to be both negative, right? One's going to be negative, one's going to be positive. So it could be -5, +1, or it could be +5, -1, right? And it could be this way or this way. So suddenly we've got 4 options.
Do you have
So
to write out
I'm going
all
to,
of them?
so for now, I'm going to write them all out. So I'm going to say we got 3x, right? And x. Let's see, I'm just going to write a few. We've got 3x. There's no other way to do the 3x and the x. So I'm just going to keep doing the 3x and x. 3x and x. I know that. And I know that one of them has got to be positive and one of them's got to be negative, right? So what are my possibilities for -5? I could have 1 times -5. I could have -5 times 1. Do you agree with me? I could have, see what I'm doing? Order matters now. Like I could do +1 times -5. We had 1 here and -5 here, but I could also have the -5 here and the 1 here.
Right.
You see what I mean? So it gets complicated a little bit. So, but I have to try both possibilities. Now I'm going to make the 1 negative. It could be -1, and it could be +5, or it could be the -1 could be over here, -1 over here, and the +5 over here. So those are my options, right? You guys agree with me? In order to get a -5 for the last number, those are all my possibilities. So I kind of have to try them. So let's try them. So okay, +1, -5, -5, +1, -1, +5, and 5, +5, -1. Those are my options. You guys all see what I'm doing? You see how I got those options? Yes? Okay, so now all we care about, we know that this times this equals this. We've already figured out our first, and we've already figured out our last, because we know these are correct. So it's what we don't know is whether our outside plus our inside equals 14x. That's the key. So now we just have to try, okay? So outside, negative 15x plus 1x, negative 14x. Ah! But it's positive 14x. This one came out to negative 14x, right? Negative 15x plus 1x is negative 14x. Bummer. Okay, so now we're going to try this one. 3x minus 5x. 3x minus 5x is minus 2x, right? That doesn't work. So now we'll try this one. 3x times 5 is 15x. Minus 1x is 14x. That's it. 14x. This is our answer. You should know the one I wrote really poorly. I did the answer. All right. 3x minus 1 times x plus 5. Now, let's look at one thing. Look up here. This said negative 14x. Remember? We ended up trying this one, and it came out to negative 14x. We thought, oh, shoot! It was not. It's supposed to be, positive 14x. And we came up with negative. Well, wait a minute. Look at the difference between this one and the one that with the right answer. We keep the numbers in the same place. We just flip the signs, right? That's all we had to do, and we would have gotten positive 14x. Does that make sense? A little bit? Can you see?
So then on the last one, it would be 2x?
So this one, yeah, this would be minus 3x plus 5x. That would be 2x. So that would be our answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're a little harder. They take more time. You kind of have to guess and check a little bit. Now I'm writing down all the possibilities. Eventually, as you practice them more, you get a little better at them. Do you know what I mean? And you start to guess better. You kind of know that if the number is going to be really huge in the middle, really huge, then you're going to want the bigger number multiplied times the 3x, times the bigger one. So you put the bigger numbers on the outside. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to on the inside, because the insides would be whatever. John, are you focused?
Yeah.
You look like you're in the middle of a rhythm.
Really?
Yeah. In your head. All right, so I've still been very nice to you. I've been giving you ones that have very few options,
Thanks.
right? Can you imagine how complicated this could be if I gave you some that have a lot of options?
Yeah, but can you not?
But you know math teachers wouldn't do that to you, right?
No, of course not.
Never, 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 never. Let me see if there's another. Okay. Oh, well, I don't want to do that one yet. All right, I'm not going to do that yet. All right, so let me look at one.
We could work on our homework.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or do something.
I'm going to just do, let's do one more. 6x squared minus x minus 5. All right. So this actually, you guys listen up. This actually has a lot of options. Because think about it. Not only do I have a negative here, so that means it's going to be like the last one, positive 5, positive 1, negative 5, negative 5, positive 1, negative 1, positive 5. You know what I mean? All those options for that. But we also have this. We don't know which one it's going to be. Is it going to be 6 times 1, or is it going to be 2 times 3?
Oh.
So suddenly, I just doubled the possibilities. I have like 4 possibilities with this
So you have 8?
at 6 times 1, and then I have another 4 at 2 times 3, and you guys are saved by the bell. Oh.
Isn't that a TV show?
Okay.
Stay here.
Saved by the Bell.